So a question I've been asking myself, can you overland in a day? I think that's what today is going to be about. We're going to try to overland in one day, just a one-day trip, and see if a day trip can really be kind of considered overlanding. So we're in the Ozarks and we're driving to go do some things, have an adventure, and we'll see how it goes along the way.
We started the trip going up I-40, and we entered the Ozarks just on the other side of Russellville, going north all the way up towards Ponca to get to the trailhead. It started out really pretty flat right off I-40, but rapidly as we got into the mountains it became hilly, curvy, and absolutely stunning. The leaves, while I was not in peak season, were still changed pretty well, and there was a lot of color with browns and yellows and still some greens from the grass remaining in some of the pine and cedar trees. I had to stop here because the clouds and this fog was just coming through this valley that I could see off the side of the road. Literally, I just had to stop and get a video of it and some pictures. Even though the sun wasn't in the best spot, it was just spectacular, and the morning was just excellent. After this, we got to the trailhead without incident and got ready to start our hike. Once we got to the trailhead, we started walking down this really nice, kind of chatted gravel path that got to the trailhead. The trail started out pretty easily, but as we moved into the hills, it got more interesting, and it also got a little bit more difficult.
So I found out why this might be called Lost Valley Creek Trail. It's because the water runs in an aquifer, and the creek bed is dry a lot, but the water apparently runs almost year round. It's under us in the ground where we can't see it right now. So we may not get to see the waterfall when we get up to it, but we'll just have to see. So this is ominous, I guess. Look at this sign. Use extreme caution beyond this point. I guess this is where the trail gets hard. So it's supposed to be an easy trail, but we'll see. So this trail's been pretty cool so far. I kind of like it. It's pretty. The rock formations are incredible. A lot of water erosion, limestone, sandstone that the Ozarks are made of. Forms a lot of good caves. Used to go caving up here a lot when I was in college, but it's been a long time. But it's still really nice to see all of this.
So I finally made it down to the natural bridge, which is really more of a tunnel that's been cut through the side of a bluff by water over untold thousands of years. Karst topography in the Ozarks is quite common, and this was pretty spectacular as the air outside was slightly warmer and there was a cool breeze running through this tube the whole time. You can go around and get down to it as well, but going through it's a little bit more fun, and it brings you out into the creek bed. And as I got into the creek bed, I was just overtaken by the spectacular colors of the bluff, the leaves on the trees that were orange, contrasted by this brilliant blue sky without a cloud in it. What a spectacular morning. So we made it down to Cobb Cave at the end of the trail. It's a very dry spot apparently, and the reason it's called Cobb Cave is because they found corn cobs in it from thousands of years ago. Time there was short, and then we headed back to the trailhead to continue our day. The drive in the morning and this trail were great. The air had been crisp and wonderful, and we were starting to realize whether or not we were going to be able to call ourselves overlanders after just one day. We stopped in Ponca, population 9, to just top off on fuel before we continued on with the rest of our trip. Highly recommend you visit the town, it's great.
Well guys, we found a trail to go on today of all things, so the adventure continues. It started out just like a gravel road, and I was like, well, this is gonna be easy. And now it's getting more and more narrow, and it's less kept, and it's kind of just turned into a Forestry Service road. It's not bad rutted up or anything, but there's some big kind of potholes in it, and wouldn't be a big deal, and it's not certainly for the GX, but I will say I wish I had something other than road tires on here. They're probably not the thickest sidewall, and there are some rocks in this road, but we're having fun. We're not taking it real hard or anything, and I'll see where it goes. Dude, it's like an old school hard body Yoda. Ah, or is that a first gen Tacoma? Either way, it's super cool. The highway is just up there. I can almost see it from here. This was a great little Forestry Service road that kind of went down to one lane, and then at the bottom there was this concrete bridge over like a creek. Weird. There was a couple water crossings, just the water's not up enough right now to have any water to cross really, and there was some mud. Really not a big deal. I think you probably could have done this in a, you know, kind of two-wheel drive truck. The Lexus handled it with ease. You know, the approach and departure angle are not the best, but it was basically kind of a really rough road with some rock on it. Nothing really hard. I think really kind of what this thing was made to do was this kind of stuff, because most places that people go, there is some kind of road or track. It's just not real good. And this thing actually does pretty well. And we've got, you know, I've got some plans to kind of de-Lexify it a little bit moving forward. Kind of get the approach angle a little bit better with a different bumper and some things like that, and we'll get there. Right now this is a good shakedown just to kind of, you know, got the roof rack on there and kind of see how that went. I've got my Roam case up there in the Roam mount, and I put locks on it, and the locks were banging around all day today, so I've got to get some zip ties or something to secure those so they don't bang around. You can really hear them in the cab in the Lexus. So overall, it did really well today. I had a really good time, and we're about to get back on the highway and go south. There's a little cafe that I'm going to go try that I've never tried before, so the adventure will continue with an adventure in dining, because this could be really bad or it could be really awesome. We'll see. And then I think, you know, earlier I asked the question of whether or not you can overland, quote unquote, in one day, and I think today I've kind of answered the question. I had a huge adventure today. I went for a hike, saw a bunch of really cool stuff in the Ozarks on that hike. That Lost Valley Creek Trail in the Buffalo National Forest is fantastic. It's a really easy hike. I'd highly recommend it. And then I came into Ponca, population 9, which is hilarious. And they've got a little general store there. I was able to get a little fuel and keep on my way. And then I found this Forestry Service road in Onyx. And I'll get the name of the trail in the link below. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's a tract in Onyx, and it's basically a Forestry Service road. And it was a lot of fun, and it was great for the Lexus in its current form with street tires, no lift, and no bumper up front. So really kind of, you know, minimal depart or approach angle. But it was really great, and I still had a great time. And I'm going to go eat now and probably head back to the house. So I guess the point of all of that is sometimes, you know, I feel like, well, I can't go overnight, I can't camp, so maybe I just won't go this weekend, or maybe I put it off. And I don't know if there's other people out there, maybe there are, that do the same thing, because you know, I have a job. This isn't my job. This is something I like to get out and do as much as I can, but life happens. There's always something going on the weekend. So I guess the thing you got to remember is that you just need to get out there. And you need to get out there as often as possible, even if it's just for a day or maybe half a day even. Go do something and see some of the great outdoors that are out here. I mean, I live in Arkansas, and the Ozarks and the Ouachitas are literally in my backyard. And I am remiss in that I don't get out here enough. So, with all of that said, I'm Landon. This is Order the Traveling Hats, and I genuinely do hope that you guys will get out here and enjoy this. We'll see you later.